Hey, welcome to the Funhouse. My name's Brian. I'll be your host for this edition of What Does $100 Get You at a Record Store? And also in currency news, rest in peace to the penny. No more see a penny, pick it up all day, you'll have good luck. How will we get good luck? Who knows? So, went to the record store, this record store of choice, because sometimes I do these videos. I don't know what I always call them. I'm calling them, what does $100 get you at the record store? Went to Windy City Records in Downers Grove, Illinois, down on Main Street. Down on Main Street. Shout out to Bob Seger. First thing that caught my eye walking through that door, oddly enough, last time I was there, a Rush record was the first thing that caught my eye. This is a box, not a box set, so to speak, but a box version of their debut album. I got this for $40, which if you look at the comps that I'll throw up all around, that's weird terminology so close to Thanksgiving. Yeah, so it's a good price. Happy to pay $40 for this. I do have a early-ish pressing of their debut, but hey, if I can get one that has no snap, crackle, or pops for $40 with a cool bunch of artwork inside, I'll be doing that all day. Let's talk about the record. The first out of their 19 studio records. Of course, this one had John Rutsey on drums. John Rutsey sadly passed away in 2008, and this version came out in 2023. It's a 180 gram edition with posters and all that stuff. This record was came out in 74. Like I said, it's their debut. It was recorded in 1973, and that's important because you're thinking as a Rush fan or as a Rush member up there in Toronto, you're listening to Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, 4, and Houses of the Holy. So this record is strongly influenced by Led Zeppelin. It's the Led Zeppelin Rush record, you might say. If you're not familiar with it, yeah, it doesn't sound like the prog rock stuff that we know of Rush when they got Mr. Neil Peart on there. But no, it's their first album, and I always liked it. And they still play a few of these songs live and stuff like that from the album. So it's a good listen for sure. But yeah, inside there's like these reproduction postcards of the band. You get a poster of the band. Is it of the band? I don't know. Maybe it's an advertisement for the first record itself. Yeah, look at that. Would you imagine having an original one of these? Oh, that would be sweet. If you do and you don't want it, send it to Brian's Funhouse, care of Brian Funhouse. You get a family tree, which I never kind of knew this stuff. Which people involved in the groups. At one point, Rush was a 4-man band. Look at that. Crazy stuff. Lindy Young was the 4th person on there. But yeah, it's a fun little version. And then, yeah, you get your 180. Whoa, that's at least 180 grams. That's heavy there. So yeah, Rush record, $40. Easy purchase. Since I was breaking that $100 bill open, I kept looking around the store, and what did I see? Now, at heart, a pop punk rocker. That's what I am, a punk rocker, a classic rocker. But the sweet tooth in me always loves what the people would call, my cat and my dog going crazy in the background if you hear a noise, hair metal. Hair metal, glam metal, pop metal. I always call it easy listening heavy metal. In a band, Icon, this came out in 1984. They were from Phoenix, Arizona, formed in 81. You don't get a lot of Phoenix, Arizona glam heavy metal bands. I think it's because it's the dry heat. I don't know. This was their 4th out of 4 albums that they have. I believe they still kind of form and play around. But yeah, this is pretty much an 80s band, classic 80s band where they formed in 81 and they stopped in 90 because the popularity of that kind of music just went way down. This is the second with the singer Jerry Harrison on vocals. Now, you get the first 2 Icon albums, which are very, very good. The OG singer is Stephen Clifford. But this is it's a good find. It was around $60, so it is a little higher priced album because it is harder to find in good condition. The cover is pretty good condition, but the album itself is like mint, baby. Sweet heavy metal sounds, mint. Easy listening heavy metal sounds. But yeah, Icon, Phoenix, Arizona. I'll put up comps for this album. So yeah, it was happy to pay that price. Now, cool thing about Windy City Records is he has a good amount of CDs, always has a good amount of CDs. I guess people in the burbs there just, hey, take my CDs. And he had a nice thing where you buy a CD for $1, you get a free CD. So it's pretty much CDs were 50 cents. How can I go wrong? Let's run down the CDs that I got. The best of the Doobie Brothers pretty much 1970 to 82 was their good run. I love these kind of CDs because this is the band, perfect example of a band. I like them. Am I going to buy a lot of their stuff? No. I just pretty much need a hits album. And then if I get into the hits album enough, I could explore the individual albums. I do that with some groups. I realize, like, wow, every song is really fantastic. I wonder what those songs originally kind of were on the LP. If it's the third song, well, what did the second song sound like? Or the fourth song, before, you know how you get into music nerds. And, but for some bands, yeah, just the hit CD. Kansas was a band like that. Queen actually was a band like that. When I was a real young little boy, I had Kansas hits and Queen's greatest hits on vinyl, and I was like, this is really good. I need to explore their other stuff. And so sometimes these hits album can do that. Sometimes it's all you need is the hits. I got a feeling it's pretty much all I'm going to need from the Doobies. The best of the Doobies, you know. China Grove, China Grove. I never knew as a kid that was called China Grove. I thought it was like a long time ago or so. I was horrible with lyrics. Jesus is just all right with me. That's good. Yeah. So yeah, Taking It to the Streets. That's another big Doobie song. So got that one. Another band. I do have a few of their vinyls. A few of their records, but I figured, hold on, let me turn off the heater. Alright, got the heater off. Making videos also saves on bills. The Guess Who were from Canada. Speaking about places that you would need a heater. These Eyes, great one. No Time, of course, American Woman is their big one. Probably one of my least favorites on these hits album from them would be American Woman. No Sugar Tonight is great. Yeah. So yeah, a band I do have a few of their other albums, but don't have any of their stuff on CD. So now I do. Another band that I'm not going to buy all their early stuff, but I just need this hit CD. Talking about the Jackson 5, formed in 1964 in Gary, Indiana, which is just 15 minutes away from here. It was funny because when I was researching this, I just assumed that Joe Jackson, the Papa, had everyone, all of his kids, like in the band, but no, there was a son, and of course the three girls weren't in the Jackson 5, but yeah, I've seen Janet Jackson live. Never saw the King of Pop live. I wish I kind of did. It would be kind of cool. See, I saw Michael Jackson live, but yeah, I saw Janet just last year or the year before. She was all right. But the Jackson 5, anyway, formed 1964. Anyway, had to go put the cat upstairs. She was going crazy. You got all your songs. You got ABC, I'll Be There, Never Can Say Goodbye. These are just good stuff. So yeah, that's all I need. What's that? Dancing Machine, yeah. Closes out with Dancing Machine. Look at the boys. Times were good back then for the Jackson 5. Not really. I guess their old man was kind of a jerk, but... speaking about the Jackson 5, not related. Not the OG Joe Jackson. The other Joe Jackson from the UK. His greatest hits. Again, I do have a few songs on 45. I think I have Stepping Out on 45. But another person that probably... life is limited. You only got so much time on this planet. And you can only delve and deep dive into so many artists within your lifetime. Because there's new artists coming up. You got to use your time wisely. So am I going to really delve into the Joe Jackson catalog? Probably not in this lifetime. So the greatest hits is all I need. Again, it was $1, get one free, so 50 cents for Joe Jackson's greatest hits. His big one, 1978, is She Really Going Out With Him? What a great, great tune that is. Joe Jackson. So yeah, I only really know Is She Really Going Out With Him? And then, like I said, Stepping Out. So I'm looking forward to hearing his other stuff because, you know, perhaps if there's like 3 or 4 songs all from the same album, and I really like them, then I'll go ahead and buy that other album. It's not a great time to get into vinyl collecting or vinyl worshipping or vinyl whatever because records are expensive. So you have to be careful. Another artist, no in hell I'm going to buy any of his records, but a hit CD for 50 cents, showing Illinois pride. I just did a video about the Illinois Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We do have our own Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We have so many great artists. And he just got in this year, 2025, talking about Richard Marx greatest hits. You got Don't Mean Nothing. You got The Way She Loves Me. You have Right Here Waiting. Oh, the ballads are strong on this one. Got The Pretenders, their 7th out of 12 albums. Chrissie Hynde and the boys are always solid. Really looking forward to hearing this one. When I think of Pretenders, I always think of those like first 3-4 albums of theirs. So yeah, Again, a group that I think originally I got their hits. I got the Pretenders hits, and then went back and started to get all the albums that these great songs are from. So the Pretenders, Viva El Amor, Long Live the Love. I'm not fluent in Spanish. Took a few years in college, but Long Live the Love. I'm thinking. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to read the comments up there in Spanish. I won't be able to understand it. But Pretenders, Chrissy Hynde. Prince. I do have a Prince record. Like everyone else, my first Prince album was Purple Rain. I do remember in the record store as a kid, I think it was Flipside Records in the early 80s, late 70s maybe. I do remember seeing this and I'm thinking, wow, that guy's pretty sexual, that Prince guy. But I don't really, the name didn't really stick until you saw Little Red Corvette on TV. And in 1999, which at the time it's being sung, what's that, in 82, this is his 5th album already, it's crazy. In 82, you're thinking that's the future. You're thinking, wow, he's singing about a time that everyone's going to be walking around with jetpacks. Not thinking about a time that we're all going to have video cameras, filming ourselves in the basement, talking about music. But, yeah, flying around jetpacks and crazy and nuclear war every 10 seconds. And aliens coming down. That's 1999 when you're looking at it from the vision or the glasses or the whatever that word is from 82. That's what you're thinking. But anyway, I've never heard any of the other songs, I think, on this besides 1999 Little Red Corvette and possibly Delirious. So yeah, so I'm anxious. I know there's Prince people out there who's got what, like 40 albums, I think. There are Prince fanatics out there, and he was a great musician, talented guy. One of the last things Prince ever did with his time here on this earth was go to Record Store Day 2016 up there in Minnesota. That's a fun fact for you. Not really a fun fact because he passed away shortly after, a few days after. That's just a fact for you. Prince, yeah. He's great. Man, we lost some great artists recently. All right, last but not least, their 5th out of 8 albums. Oddly enough, I bought this at Windy City Records in Downers Grove, Lombard, Illinois, which is right close to it. Is where this band formed, Plain White T's. This is Big Bad World, a band that you know from Hey Delilah. Hey there, Delilah. What you do to me? That's 2 albums before this. This is a great power pop. I wouldn't say pop punk, but like power pop rock. Pock. It's good Pock music. And yeah, I'm going to have to get me some more Plain White T's. Support local bands. And this is a good one. The 5th out of the 8th one. This is Big Bad World. And yeah, for 50 cents all day long. If I see any of their other CDs, picking them up. Good stuff. Now, last but not least, what came in the mail, Cheap Trick. Yes, what are we on? Their 21st record. And it's got, yeah, that's a great cover. Now, I'm only going to say really fast, I played this 3 or 4 times. I do like side 2 more than side 1. It's still a solid album. It sits up there with their recent releases of being just good rock and roll. Cheap Trick is a great rock and roll band. Look at that vinyl. Pretty. But I'm not going to talk about this too much. Why Archie Bryan from Brian's Funhouse? Well, because next video I do is going to be a Cheap Trick record review and record ranking of all their records. That'll be coming out next week. And you will have a chance on that video if you leave a certain comment, which I will tell you at the time of that video. It's not this one. It is one that hasn't been opened. But you will get a signed CD. This is the insert that goes with the CD. You will get a signed CD, a chance to win. You don't get, not everyone that watches it, not all 14 views, not all 14 people are going to get CD. Well, one of you that watch the next video will get the Cheap Trick album. But yeah, this is good stuff. So, all right, stay tuned. Thanks for watching this one, and hopefully you'll have fun with the next video. As always, thanks for watching.